families make better decisions with their money. He was introduced to the industry from a friend who knew him in church, who told him he was literally wasting his talents in his former career field. Today, he is building a multi-state organization of distribution outlets for financial service programs. He's presenting his story and introduction to the company today with his first evaluation and feedback speech on the dynamic leadership path. Please help me welcome Michael Corbell with Financial Cancer. Financial Cancer, Michael Corbell.
Imagine you had a friend call you up out of the blue one day. It's a friend that you knew back in high school, one of those brainiac type of kids. Always getting A+, one of the kind of nerdy types. You haven't spoken to him for a long time, but he called you up out of the blue, and you can tell he was really excited by his tone of voice. And after getting to know him a little bit more, catching up, he told you what he was calling about. He'd actually been working for a research and development team over the last 10 years for a major pharmaceutical company. And they've been working on finding the cure for cancer. And they found it. That's why he's so excited. And of all the places they looked for the cure for cancer, they found it in the peel of the Florida orange. Now imagine if you heard this, you'd probably be pretty excited. Wow, that's great news, right? You'd be thinking, I'm really grateful that you shared with me the cure for cancer. But if you were a business person and savvy like myself, you'd be thinking something else. You'd be thinking, if the cure for cancer was found in the Florida orange peel, then over the next 24 months, there's probably going to be more oranges sold in this country and worldwide than ever in the history of the markets, right? The market is literally going to explode. And you'd be kind of dopey if you didn't actually find some way to buy in, invest, or capitalize on a distribution of the Florida orange, right? I mean, this guy literally just changed your financial future, not to mention probably saved you from cancer. Well, I would tell you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, that I had a similar conversation not too long ago. A friend of mine called me up. He wasn't a friend from high school, but he was actually a friend from church. And he wasn't a research scientist, but he was actually a businessman. He didn't tell me the cure for cancer, but he did teach me about the cure for financial cancer. And that really got me intrigued. Right? Frank shared with me many of the symptoms of financial cancer, and I had suffered many of them. But he also told me the first rule of business. You guys know the first rule of business? You ever hear the first rule of business? The first rule of business, Michelle, is to actually stay in business. Right? It seems kind of obvious, right? But what does this mean? If I had a business selling vinyl records, you know, those old 72s, they probably wouldn't be too popular. Not many people really want to do that. That business plan really wouldn't work out. But the first rule of business is supply and demand, right? If you have a product or service that's in demand and consumers want, then you have the grounds for a great business plan. So let's go back to financial cancer. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Most people in this country are suffering. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're up to their ears in debt. They got no money in savings for emergencies. They've got no plan for a future, for retirement. They literally have no idea how to send their kids to school without actually taking out huge student loans. And they're leaving their family in great risk. Should the breadwinner get sick or pass away, that family could go through bankruptcy or even homelessness, right? This cancer is rampant in the United States. It's literally destroying homes, families, and hope in this country. But I did tell you my friend had a cure for financial cancer. See, Frank told me that he found a company that's literally teaching people how to actually win the money game. Literally showing people how to get out of debt and plan for the future and do very simple things. And he said, Mike, I found a way for you to get into this too. I was excited. But I was a little scared. I didn't have any background in finance or education. I couldn't even balance a checkbook, right? Let alone learn anything about financial services. How was I going to get into this company? Well, he told me that every once in a while, a new business comes forth and completely transforms the way that business moves going forward. He gave me some examples. One example is Facebook. You know, Facebook doesn't write any content. But literally, Grant, they are the largest distributor of media on the planet. Another example like this is Uber. Uber actually has no vehicles. They own 60% of the entire public transportation industry. Airbnb has no real estate, but yet they're continually growing year after year after year while the hotel industry is shrinking. And the last one is Amazon.com. Amazon.com doesn't create any products, but they are the single largest distributor in the retail market on the planet. The financial industry works very similar. See, today's economy, business is changing. No longer are the days where people are working 9 to 5 as employees and actually looking for benefits. Most of these companies are building distribution chains. They're building outlets and hiring a bunch of people as independent contractors to work when they want to, and that way they're reducing their overhead. So my friend told me about this company, and I was like, well, I still don't have any background. See, I was a heating and air conditioning technician at the time. My job was to fix people's furnaces, not fix people's finances. You know, furnaces, finances, they sound the same, but there was no way I could actually learn how to do that. He asked me how I did in school. Well, I got like B's and A's sometimes. He said, it's really simple. All you gotta do is get a couple of licenses, and you gotta pass a 100-question multiple choice test with 70%. It's like a C minus. I said, I can get a C minus. And he said, even if you pass a test, you're still not gonna be an expert in financial services, but here's the thing, you don't have to be an expert. All you have to be good at is putting people in front of me. So I said, well, I can do that. So what I did is I actually literally found people that I would talk to, maintenance people if I was working in heating and air conditioning, and I'd introduce them to Frank. And Frank would be calling me up one day out of the blue, hey, you know that family that you just sent me last week? Well, I found a great way to help them reduce their tax bill and send their kids to college, and Mike, you just made $400. And another family he would help, he's like, Mike, you just made $300. And after that, he'd be like, Mike, you just made $500. I was like, this is easy. All I gotta do is introduce people to Frank. Well, see, naturally, I started learning the industry on my own, but I found a way to get out of my full-time job, and I started making more money than I ever had before, by just introducing people to Frank. What was great is that we were really teaching people good things about money. We were teaching people how to get out of debt in about half the time it would normally take them to pay off, including their mortgage. We were showing people how to literally send their kids to college. We were showing people how to use the rule of 72 and double their assets after a certain period of time. So it was fantastic. I loved what I was doing for people. And so I learned a lot of things about the financial industry at the time. And one of the things I learned is the financial industry is one of the largest industries on the planet. I mean, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Now, my company's been around for about 25 years. It actually started with 4 guys, and they got together and they said something needs to change in the financial services industry. There's a huge market of people out there who are not getting their needs met. The financial cancer is rampant around the world. And what these 4 guys did is they created a system where people can literally start on a part-time basis and introduce people to the experts in the field and learn as they grew. And that's how we're solving financial cancer. And what I was doing, I was literally just introducing people to Frank, and because I realized that this company has grown so much, it's literally all over North America. So it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry backed by a multi-billion-dollar company. Our company is run by Aegon. It's a $500 billion company. It's in the top Forbes list. And literally, people are making and saving millions of dollars. So we are looking for some good people. If any of you want any information, this is a shameless plug to my business. Talk to me afterwards, and I thank you all.